We're having a shootout between the DJI Mic 2s, which is around £300 as of recording this video, and the Sony UTX B40, which is about £1,100 at the time of recording this video. Quick side note, the Sony UTX B40 is paired with the Sony URX P41D transmitter. So first up, we've got the DJI Mic 2s, which comes in this nice little box. We've got all the accessories, the windshields, the charging cable, and the 3.5, which is over here, the 3.5 cable to help connect it to your camera. Comes in a nice rechargeable box. It's a nice compact and portable design. Inside we have the two transmitters and the receiver, as well as a USB-C and an iPhone connection. With the microphones being built into this transmitter, it eliminates the need for an external lav mic, though there is an option for that with the 3.5mm input at the top. Now, these little transmitters can be clipped straight on to a subject with the clip with a little magnet. The receiver has a nice interactive touch screen, a 3.5 output which can be plugged directly into the camera, as well as a 3.5 output for headphone monitoring. Now, the Sony UTX B40 is a more traditional broadcasting transmitter. With these microphones, unlike the DJI Mic 2s, there is a need for using a lav mic, and I'm actually recording the audio right now using the second transmitter, and you might be thinking, where's the microphone? I can't see it clipped onto you. A nice thing about using a setup like these is the lav mics can be nice and discreet in the recording. Now, the URX P41D receiver is a compact, professional grade, dual channel receiver that can sit on top of the camera, and utilising the hot shoe mount, the audio can record directly into your camera, or using the 3.5 outputs, you could plug that into your camera or into an external audio recording device. And we all know I'm a big fan of my Zoom F6, which would be my preferred option. I think the most obvious thing that will stand out is the size difference. So you've got a much bulkier system with the Sony compared to this nice compact DJI. The Sony does utilise a clip at the back, which you can slide straight onto your trousers or a t-shirt. The Sony receiver utilises physical buttons and doesn't have a touchscreen like the DJI Mic 2 receiver. Now, for the sake of this review, I'm not going to consider this DJI mic with an external lav, and that's because I want it to just be straight out of the box and how you could use it. So comparing these two, as I was showing, I was able to hide the lav mic discreetly for the Sony, whereas the DJI Mic 2s will be a lot more invasive into the video. But now we're going to do a quick audio test. I've got the Sonys into this camera via hot shoe, and then over to my left I've got a second camera with the DJI going directly into that camera via 3.5 out of the receiver. So in this test, I'll have the Sonys and the DJIs back to back, and what I'll do is I'll bring the audio up to -3 decibels with no noise reduction so you can hear for yourself what it sounds like. And then afterwards, I'll repeat the same clip but with noise reduction. So as we're on the topic of audio for video, I thought it would be very fitting to read this little bit out of the Filmmaker's Handbook. Keep in mind that sound quality is often more important than picture quality. This may seem counterintuitive, but you can test it for yourself. First, watch a scene that's well lit and in sharp focus, but has distant, scratchy, rumbling sound and dialogue that's hard to understand. Then watch a scene that's very underexposed and may be a little out of focus, but has pristine audio with crystal clear voices. After a minute or two, the first scene becomes truly irritating. The second one, though not ideal, is at least watchable. And while we're not in a treated room right now, there's not really much going on in terms of background noise, which will be a more realistic environment for content creators. So I'm in the kitchen for a reason. Let's get the fan extractor on, as well as getting the kettle going. Now I'm going to read the same sentence again with the same process. Keep in mind that sound quality is often more important than picture quality. This may seem counterintuitive, but you can test it for yourself. First, watch a scene that's well lit and in sharp focus but has distant, scratchy, rumbling sound and dialogue that's hard to understand. Then watch a scene that's very underexposed and maybe a little out of focus but has pristine audio with crystal clear voices. After a minute or two, the first scene becomes truly irritating. The second one, though not ideal, is at least watchable. While this has just been a bit of fun, and it's probably unlikely someone's going to compare a £300 and £1,100 microphone to buy, at least it might give you a bit of clarity on what you need for what situation. So my final thoughts would be on this. The DJI Mic 2 is a great, versatile multi-tool for content creation and ease of use. Sony's are great for high-end production and will definitely be my go-to for that sort of shoot. If I had a gun to my head and I had to pick one of these microphones, it would definitely be the Sony's. It caters more to the type of videos I make on a professional level, whereas the DJI Mic 2s I do tend to use for these YouTube videos, even though today I have used the Sony's to record this, and to be honest, I do quite like how it's not invasive into the picture. So depending if you've got a low budget, go for the DJI Mic 2s. They're solid, they'll last you for ages. If you've got a high budget, go for the Sony's. And if you've got an even higher budget, why not have both at your disposal? And then you've got options to pick depending on what you're recording on that day. I hope you've enjoyed this video and it's been informative. Please give me a like and subscribe to help me beat the algorithm, as well as keep up to date on my filmmaking tips and advice. I'll see you in the next one.